Yeah. Good evening, all. As you know, on behalf of Women and Young Member Excellence Committee of ICI, welcome you all in the Youth Excellence Symposium 16. It was a fantastic program going on and the continuing. Youth Excellence Symposium is a Friday series of program conducted by committee for the women and young members. It is one of the Women and Young Members Excellence Committee's initiative to not only give information to members on technical updation, but also to empower and inspire them to come at forefront and realize their verbal skill at public forum. I welcome you all on the today's virtual program on roadblocks and milestone in startup journey for CAs. Speaker are today CA Abhinav Sharma. Thank you. And I think so. Preeti madam have not joined, so we'll continue the thing. I pass on the mic to CA Grishma ji to introduce our today's speaker, CA Abhinay Sharma.
Thank you, Yogesh ji. Uh, Firstly, I would like to thank ICAI for giving me this opportunity to introduce our today's speaker, CA Abhinav Sharma. So, he is a chartered accountant by profession. He is a dynamic professional who excels in both accounting and marketing. He is a CMO at Hisab Kitab. He seamlessly combines his financial expertise with a keen interest in marketing and brand building. With an impressive Instagram page boasting over 30K followers, he has successfully positioned Hisab Kitab as a trusted authority in the industry. Abhinav's strategic mindset, attention to details, and deep understanding of the market have been instrumental in driving the company's growth and success. With this unwavering dedication, he continually seeks innovative ways to enhance the company's visibility and build strong customer relationships. He has been a panelist at various events for startups hosted by ICI as well as other institutions. With this brief introduction, I would like CA Abhinav Sharma and I would like to invite him for today's seminar. Thank you.
Thank you, Grishma. Thank you for the introduction. Firstly, I would like to extend my gratitude to Women and Young Members Excellence Committee for inviting me here and to let me share my wisdom, which I have, because I can see there are very good guys here who have some enormous wisdom as compared to me. So thank you so much for that. I would like to thank Ms. Preeti Chawla, Abhay Chajev, Pritin ji, Kruti ji, Yogesh ji, Grishma ji. Thank you for this. So yeah, moving further, shall I share my screen if all of you are here? Okay.
Yeah, please.
Is it visible to all of you?
No. Yeah.
Yes, it is
Yes,
visible.
yes.
Okay. Just a sec. So yeah, coming towards the topic is roadblocks and milestone in startup journeys for CA. So first of all, I would like to say that startup being a fancy term and a modern way of business, this whole presentation and everything is going to be a very different from the traditional kind of thing which we usually do. So I'll be presenting it in a way which can be very understandable to all of you guys here who have joined here, and I've simplified in a way that it is very adoptable as well as simplified for you to understand. So first of all, before all of this, you should know who am I. Grishma ji gave a good introduction of mine before this. So if might say, I'm Abhinav Sharma. I'm a chartered accountant. I'm a co-founder at Hisab Kitab, and I'm the Aman Gupta of my company, which is I'm the CMO of my company. I handle all the marketing and everything. I've been a panelist at ICI startup events. I've been a moderator as well, and I've been a panelist as well. So I've given my wisdom to all the people, and I've a startup consultant too. So, and that is only on a pro bono basis. Like I don't charge for it. I do on a selective basis, and I return to our community, which has given it so many things in return. Coming further, why am I taking this session? Like, why am I the good guy, or why should I take this session? I've been running a successful, profitable startup, which I might say yes, we are profitable. And then we started only a year back. Like we have our own CA practice beforehand, but then we winded it out, and then we started Hisab Kitab, as you can see. So we started a year back from Surat, expanded to Mumbai and Vapi, and in the span of 1 year only, and without any raising any funding. We are bootstrapped right now, but yeah, definitely we are into the process of funding, and that's why I can share my wisdom here. We are remotely serving in Dubai and Pan India as well. We are a team size of 50 people, so yeah, I know how to manage people and all those stuff also. And the one thing which differentiate us from other people is we have cracked the digital code, which is a very which is the thing which people are not able to do it correctly, and they take a lot of time. So in a short span of time, and just because of the thing which we know and which I might gonna share today with you, that how you can do that. So there are some ground rules which I want to lay before you, for all of you guys. There is, I think, you won't be able to interact with this session or not. I'm not sure. So before that, so the ground rules are that you have to stay awake, drink water, tea, coffee, whatever you want to, and just be with me till the end. And then coming to this, like you have to try to involve and interact as much as possible. So I don't know if you guys will be able to interact or not, but in any ways, the point which I have taken for interaction, you can do it at your own, and yeah, we can discuss. If you have any questions and anything, you can drop in the chat. And but if you feel like there is a lengthy discussion or then anything, you can we have a Q&A in the end for the people who would like to have some questions, or I've put in my mail ID. You can answer me there. And then yeah, rule 5 is follow the rule number 1, and everything that I say here is not a gospel or anything. We all of us can have some opinions and such things. So yeah, I had kept a gift for all those guys who will be interacting. So the session is different kind of thing. So I had kept a 30-minute one-to-one call with any guys. So yeah, the people who are watching me, mail me anything which you want to discuss or anything, and how you like the session or anything, and I can select any one of those guys, and we can have a 30-minute one-to-one call with me to discuss your idea. Or do you want any advice on any domain, or want to chat, talk, or do anything? It can be a date also. Then yeah, what is our topic and what are we going to discuss? So yeah, it is roadblocks and milestones. So for anyone who has any expertise, he can't be having all those roadblocks. Like for me, marketing was not a roadblock because I am always good at marketing. I had always been creative. So people always used to say me like, no, you are not made for this field. Like CA, I should have been something event management, something that kind of thing, because I handle all the marketing and everything, and I had that knack for creative stuff. Milestones also is something which can be different for every people out there. So yeah, it is very different. Moving further, if I might say, like, just a second. Yeah, moving further, quick glossary. There are some startup lingos, like people use it very often, but there have been many miscommunications among people that what does it actually means. And there are many people who don't know, like there are many terms which just go bounce on your head, and these are the jargons people are using. So I want all of you to get acquainted with certain terms and certain things here. So I want to say, as I might have written there also, that there are some startup lingos so that we all stay on the same page as this is slide or whatever it is, and however you are viewing it. So first of all, what is an this is like ABCD. I have covered 26 terms. So yeah, it is an ABCD, and so it's in alphabetical order. So what's first of all, it starts with accelerator. What is an accelerator, if I might say? So it's a program which helps startups to grow. They provide funding, mentoring, resource, and all the stuff. They can be from government and they can be non-government also. Then come angel investors. Angel investors are those people, like literally they are angels. So for a startup who is in early stage and all those stuff, so who want to grow but don't have that money, don't have that resources, don't have the generally angel investors are very close to very close people, or some HNIs, might say. HNIs is high net worth individuals. So coming towards the then comes annual run rate. Yeah, as it's a fancy term for what's your yearly revenue. So nothing different. Then the startup those guys who were making these terms, and I might say those were very lazy, because the literal what you want to ask, that term is called as ask. Like what is your ask, and what valuation, what money you are raising, what money do you want, so that is ask. Then comes bootstrap. Yeah, bootstrap is something you have invested your own money, your savings, and all those stuff in the startup itself. You don't have extended any external fund or something. Burn rate is literally, again, burn rate, at what speed your company is blowing up the money, if I might say. Then comes CAC, CCPS, and family offices. CAC is customer acquisition cost. At what is the cost which you incurred to onboard one customer? So that is very important matrices for anyone in the marketing domain as well as in general startup domain also. CCPS stands for cumulative convertible preference shares. So these are kind of stocks which are usually which are usually offered by a startup to the investors, because it's not always very direct, like you give them the equity. So they get the preference shares, and then it gets, sometimes after a certain point of time, they get converted into equity. So they are called cumulative convertible preference shares. Family offices. This is something very less people know about. Family offices is something that very high ultra net worth individuals. So like Tata, Adani, Lodas, these guys also invest into startups. And to approach them, these are not called VC funds. They are not being managed by VCs or something. But there are family offices which manages funds of these people. So those are called family offices, and they are a good source of money as well. But they are a bit provocative. Their terms are very restrictive. Then comes to GTM. GTM is go-to-market strategy. What is the strategy which a company uses to introduce and sell its product? So it's very important. Like any company, any startup should have a everyone should have a strategy that how they will enter the market, how they will penetrate it, what's the niche they will be targeting. So yeah, then idea stage, yeah, literally again, idea stage, you haven't executed anything. You are just in the ideas, like everything is in your mind. No one knows like what are you gonna build or something. Nothing physical or tangible thing is there. It's only intangible. It's in your brain. Incubator. People generally use accelerator and incubator interchangeably, but those both terms are very different. Escalator is something which invest funds also, but incubators generally don't invest funds. They just provide you mentoring, resources, and the workspace to build your startup and all the stuff. Then LTV is lifetime value. Whenever a customer comes into your funnel is something I might say is a sales channel of yours to your company. To be explained very simplified, whenever a customer comes into your company, what value is going to give you for the whole life for which he gonna stay? Maybe it be 3 years, 4 years. So what value is going to give you? MVP is minimal viable product, like a basic product which is ready for the initial customers and which can be used to get feedback from the people. And POC is proof of concept. Like before MVP, you have POC. Like you have proved the whole concept, the ideology is documented and everything is done. So kind of prototype. Then PMF. PM is product market fit. Has your customer read the right target audience, read the right target people, right consumers for you? Then you have attained product market fit. And why I am suppressing on these many terms, like why I'm explaining all these terms, because these terms will help in the further session, because I'll be using these terms very, very normally, very casually. So I want you to get acquainted to it so that you don't have any confusion at that time. Regarding pitch deck, a pitch deck is a presentation document, the whole overview of the company, what is the problem statement, what is the solution you're going to give, what is the traction, what is your ask, what does your founders do, what is your vision, what is your roadmap and everything. Runway, yeah, runway is like how much money a company has till its operation before running out of the money. Like a fun fact, if I might say, an academy has a runway of 8 years. Like for 8 years, an academy doesn't need to raise another fund, provided they don't change the strategy on those stuff. So yeah, then comes Sam. Sam is not your American cousin, but yeah, we will be having conversation on two other cousins of Sam. Sam is service addressable market, the portion of market that the company can realistically serve. So when Tam and Sam will come, I'll explain you that how it works. Then you'll be able to get a good idea. Seed is, yeah, for the roots of the company. Seed round is the first round which you will be having. So that from the angels or family offices, anything. Series round is the round which happens after seed. There is also one term which I forgot to mention here, which is called bridge round. When you do one more round between two series round, or so then it is called bridge round. Bridge round is generally done when a company runs out of money or some certain emergency fund is needed or something like that. So yeah, here comes the two other cousins of Sam, which is Som and Tam, sorry. So Tam is target addressable market, Som is service obtainable market. So just imagine like a triangle. So the below funnel is Tam, that all the people who can be your customers, like all the people who are existing. Like if I might say, like for my company, the TAM is 6 crore MSMEs, okay, and the service addressable market whom I can be able to reach, yeah. And then come SOM on the top layer, which is service obtainable market, like I'll be actually serving to them guys. Like you have to, like 6 crore those people, MSMEs 1.4 crores who are registered in GST, so that comes to SAM. And then I want to serve to like around 1.4 crore people are there, so I don't only want to serve to 20 lakh people. So those are that is how you define TAM, SAM and SOM. Then comes term sheet. Term sheet is the karta dharta of what your VC wants to, how it wants to invest, what is there, all the things is defined, what are the terms and conditions and all those stuff. Traction is where you are, what you have achieved till now, what you are doing, how you're gonna कि what is the branches, what is the number of customers you have, what are the clients you have, and what is the revenue, what is your ratios. and also which you shows to a VC or to any person, like what you have achieved till right now. VC, yeah, the god of all the startups. Everyone wants to go to a VC to raise good funds because they invest good funds without asking many questions or many interventions. We'll be knowing all these things in the detail, like how it goes and everything. Coming towards, yeah, not definitely I need water. So I included all the stuff into this for to make this all thing interesting for you. Yeah. What are the roadblocks you might face? As I discussed before, for anyone, roadblocks can be very different. Like it could be one, like for me, marketing was not a roadblock, but it could be for some other guys. Someone who's from a good background, funding could not be a roadblock, but for other person it can be. So it's not defined. There is no thumb rule. There is nothing like there are this set of roadblocks which everyone or anyone can be having. So yeah, first of all, basic thing which people might face, like we have an idea, but we don't know how to start. I have consulted so many people who have some great ideas, but they don't know where to start, what is the first step they need to take, and how to move forward with this startup journey and everything. So I might say if you have an idea, just execute it because they say the 100 try you didn't do, 100 trials you didn't do are the failures you consider only. So if you won't try, you don't know if you'll start, fail or succeed. So you should have an idea. If you have an idea, just start it, execute it, have some feedback of the nearest of the people who have around you, and get some first validations if is it gonna work or not. And just network with people because if you the more you'll say about your idea to other people, the more you'll get good idea, like if it's going to materialize or not. Regarding idea, if you might say, like for me also, for my company also, we started with services, but then later on we saw like software, there's no good software in the market. So we thought like, can we make a software? Is it possible for a CA to make a software without any CTO, without any technical guys? Like we didn't code, obviously, we outsourced all this stuff, but you have to do it, right? You can imagine like you if you are able to do it, not. So yeah, we started developing our own accounting software, and then later on we moved on to, like, can we club both of these things together? So yeah, we started with services, then we started with software, and then we combined services and software both. If I might say a good example, if I might take of famous company, then if you have heard about Stripe, Stripe was started as a furniture company, and today Stripe is doing as a payment gateway. So you can see it completely started with products and then ended with services. So it's very different for, so you never know. You can iterate, you can change, and you can do all those things with your idea. After idea, it comes, yeah, Paisa. Obviously, the biggest roadblock anyone can have for any startup is the funding. Like I have idea, I have proof of concept, but I don't. But for to scale to do anything, I need money. So funding is one of the major roadblock. We'll be very soon closing our round, but yeah, I got an idea like how this whole process is, how you need to be at right places at the right time to get fundings. It cause there is no nothing like a cracked formula for getting funding, but there are some things which you always should consider. Like you should have a good approach and when whom to approach, and that's the biggest question. So what are the challenges you might face at the time of funding? So it's like when you should raise. So the first question can be how much you should raise, which route to take to raise. Like when to raise is something like we should be raise pre-revenue, post-revenue. Should I raise at an idea stage? I'm at idea stage, but haven't established something. The idea is nothing like I'm inventing something or something like that, or how much to raise. Yeah, people are very confused with what valuations they should have. Like there is a whole consultancy going around valuations. Like should we consider DCF model, which is discounted cash flow? Should we have some another model like market multiple, which how we should take? For me, market multiple works like that is how you get a good idea. Like the revenue you are earning on an average basis, like your ARR, annual revenue run rate, then multiply with the market multiple you have, and then you get your valuation. This is the general what majority of the VC firms and angels investors consider these days because discounted cash flow is very subjective. Then which route to take? Like should you approach an angel? Should you approach a VC? From what route you need to go, and what could be the best way to achieve it? So the solution is the solution revolves. I have defined it in three ways. Like if you fall under one bucket, there are three buckets. If you fall under one bucket, you can try one of these. And again, I'm saying this is not this is not something like a gospel. Like you should do this only. but it's an idea which I have, which I've experimented, and I've experimented with a lot of people, and generally it works. Yeah. So if you are at an idea stage, but the product or service which you are doing is not an invention, but an innovation. Like you have started something new or very, very different, but the thing was going around, you are facilitating some other service. So you can always go for accelerators and incubators. Those guys works for the startup, for starting thing. If you have connects, if you have network, then definitely you should go to Angel or some VCs, all those stuff. Definitely having network is altogether a different thing, but I'm talking about the persona I'm building here is a guy who don't have any network, but he is very confused, guy or girl. He's very confused about okay, what he should do, how. So if you're at an idea stage, but you haven't done any invention on any innovation, then you can go to an escalator or incubators. They can be a good support to you. They provide you the whole network, they provide you the whole resources, they provide you mentorship with regard to many things. So they can be a good they can take you like literally, they'll hold your hand and take you to the whole journey. POC and PMF achieved, like I discussed before, POC is proof of concept and PMF is product market fit. So if you have achieved a product, proof of concept or product market fit, then you should always go for an angel investor because they need something, because they angel investor or the family offices, because those guys don't have that much risk appetite, if I might say. So they want something tangible in their hand. Like, yeah, if you have done this, they'll be having some tick boxes. Is your product visible? Is your service scalable or something? All those stuff. So they want things to be done in practical. If you have do all those things, then you should approach an angel investor or a VC, or angel investor or a family offices. Family offices, like I explained before, Lodha, Startas, they have their own VC firms, which are called family offices. So you have an idea, but your idea involves deep tech, sustainable tech, or like AI. So these are something which is very fancy, and this is the present scenario which I'm explaining about, not a general parlance. So the presently only the VC firms are investing crazily at an idea of, if you tell I'm building some deep tech thing or building some AI stuff, then they are crazily investing. Like recently, if you have heard about it, like one startup was there which was founded a month ago, and they raised $113 million for an AI firm which was at an idea stage. So you can just imagine that how much they invest, how much they are investing with the trends. So trends always succeed all the rules and everything. So yeah, if this is not something, but if a trend is like recently, if you'll say like Dream 11, the after this thing, so after this thing of GST, people are saying the Dream 11 up to Dream 7.92 ho gaya after the introduction of 28% GST. So gaming industry was on a boom, crazy boom. And after this GST implementation, it might change. So you never know how trends will subside, and people are saying the winter is there in VC world right now, investment world right now, but it depends on industry to industry. So if you are into this deep tech, sustainable tech, gaming and all this stuff, so yeah, it's very good for you right now. But you are building a traditional SaaS, you are giving any service or some regular or some traditional thing, that no, it's not that good right now. Moving further, the biggest thing people say, like being a CA, usually I've heard from CAs a lot, like marketing is not our forte. Marketing or sales is not something which were very, very normal to do. It's not, and also ICI has so many restrictions. So yeah, we are not able to get out of our zone. This is something you have to just go out of your comfort zone and you have to do sales. And recently ICI is doing wonders in this thing also. They have been collaborating with IIMs and all this stuff to teach CAs more, that what revolves around businesses and all this stuff. So what are the challenges you might face at the time of marketing and sales? So first of all, how to do it? Like what is the right way? Should I go online? Should I go offline? Should I approach a traditional method? Should I go with a modern method? Modern methods could be SEOs, digital marketing, and all the stuff, traditional or physical hoardings. So it depends on your business to businesses, if I might say. So if we can take a case study here, so if you'll say, like, if there is a skincare brand or something, so the best way it can market is it can catch some influencers, and then that influencers can promote their products, and then it could be a good way to market it. But if there's some traditional, if I might say, there was example of Porter, if you have heard about that startup. So Porter usually deliver goods for people. So as the name suggests, they deliver goods for people. So they are not their audience was there. Like they won't be getting their customers online. They'll be getting their customers in the market, in there where people are actually want to transfer stuff. So yeah, so that it depends on your product, it depends on your service, that what is the right way for you. So you have to understand it very well, that what is your customers, what is the niche you are going to serve and everything. Then but that, yeah, not your thing. Yeah, like marketing and sales is not my stuff. So then what should I do? There are always agencies and stuff. There are consultants, and upskill is something I very promote. Like you should never stop learning. Like you guys are here, so definitely you are upskilling yourself. And there is something like you should. I have this thing in my journal also, that daily for 1 hour I give something to upskill myself. You have to just learn and learn, because then only you will be able to grow. Like you have to see the world, you have to explore the world, and then only you will be able to get that, like what you can do and what you cannot. Then the last thing is, don't know where to start. We don't know how should we start. Like should we go, like there is strategy which is called you start with push or pull. Push or pull marketing is the two different terms which people occasionally use. And then should we go online first and then should we go offline? Should we go offline first and then should we go online? Because marketing works in a hammering way. Like if your consumer has seen you at one platform, he wants to see you everywhere. That's why being omnipresent is very important. Agar someone is there who saw you on Facebook, okay, he'll remember for once. Then he went to Instagram and again you pops up. And then okay, yeah, again. And then he searches on something on Google and then again you pop up. So it's something which will leave an impact on him. So that is something. And then after all of these online portals, he's going on the road and then he sees a hoarding of yours. And at that time, he'll definitely check out like what are you doing. So it works omnipresent way. It can't be like you can be only online or you can be only offline. People are like all the people, all the startups, if I might say, Baidu started with online only. He was serving online customers, and then it went offline, and now they are establishing stores. And now we don't know where Baidu's will stand. But anyways, so it's not defined that what is gonna work always. So it is gonna change again and again and again. The solution, the challenges, the solution, covered most of the things, but first of all, yeah, know your audience. The term which we use, STAM, SAM, and SOM. You should know people whom you are addressing, people who can be obtainable, who can be your customers. First of all, for any consumer, like if you are like for me, if I'll give my own example, like for us, MSMEs are customers, right? So I should only target those people who are founders, who are businesses, who are people who are dealing into B2B businesses, right? So then I have to address those people only. I can't be promoting my business to younger generation. It is good for the brand building thing, but it can't be good for sales, right? How you define sales and marketing, that is also a question which I get usually asked. Marketing is something which we usually do for future, and sales is for right now. Like marketing builds your brand, and sales is something which gets you revenue. So it works hand in hand. You have to do both of the thing. Nothing can be interchangeably. Like you can't only do marketing. You have to focus on sales. You have to meet your customers. You have to get it converted. So you have to know your audience first of all, like what your audience want, like where they stand, what are the needs. And every marketing campaign which you make, like for any industry, for any company, the best way to succeed is a good marketing campaign. And to make a good marketing campaign, you need to understand that what are the pain points your customers are facing, what are the challenges they are facing. Then you have to make your whole campaign around it only. So if I say like any for any industry you take, like Swiggy, Zomato, if I might say, so they found the problem like people are getting lazy. People want the ease to eat at their homes. They not everyone likes going to restaurants, keeping in line and every stuff. So they addressed, and then they this made the whole strategy around it. And regarding, if you take other example of my company also, then pain points people face, like accountants change and all this stuff. So you just start your problem. When you start your marketing, you start with the problem statement itself. And it is something which will which will stop a person there. Like, yeah, I'm facing this thing, because you can't sell everything rosy. You have to address something which is like, yeah, this is the genuine problem which people are facing. You should always be solving something which people are facing. So yeah, it can be a good campaign. So you have to make your whole marketing campaign around it. Your marketing campaign can consist of this pain point addressing the challenges people are facing, your USPs, and all those stuff. And then you should have a tagline, all those stuff. So then you should revolve the whole marketing around it. Then it's not and the second thing is try and iterate. It's not a straight formula that this is gonna work for your brand. You have to try it, you have to change, you have to try, you have to change, because you have to adopt. Like there are many things. Uh, if anyone knows the digital marketing thing, so there are many things, many tools which is provided by the Google and Facebook itself, which will help you know your customer better. Like where are the consumer, like the funnel is uh, sales funnel is something which is usually used like whenever a customer enter into you. So you need to define the customer journey. Like when a customer enters from any marketing campaign into your company, that how it is going and how it is going further. So you need to have that sales funnel ready. Then when a customer enters, then he will go to this website, then to this page, and then my team will connect with him. Then the sales guy would connect with him. Then it will get converted. Then the operation will start. So you have to make the whole journey smooth. So every iterations which you have to do on this whole journey. So if you start, then the pixels is something which is generally used at for the customers who are obtained by the website. So whenever a customer comes at your website, there are something traces which is get left behind. So you can use those pixels to retarget these people. So that is, so you have to again and again. There is nothing like, okay, you are just showing videos, you are just showing images to people, and it is gonna work. You have to show videos, then images, then other thing, then you have to show it offline as well. So you have to reiterate your whole strategy again and again to get the right thing. And after all of this, you'll get your GTM, which is your go to market strategy. Like you have cracked your GTM, you know where your customer is, you know how to reach them. Because see for any industry, if they have their customers in rural, then their urban advertisement is not going to work from them, and vice versa. So you need to know where your target audience is and how to reach them. That is something very important. You should be very clear. You should, and people don't take these things seriously, and these tiny things matters a lot. It's not gonna be do a direct impact right now, but later on, people will definitely see like, yeah, it's an impact which is there. The small things you do, the things you get. If I say like how we branded, and many industries do. Like recently, it has been very trending, like they start serving like any some knowledge stuff to people from Instagram and all the stuff. People get acquainted to it, people get you get good followers, and then they introduce the product, because that is the strategy people want. Usually if you'll see, there are many influencers who have recently introduced a product, because it's very easy for them to reach their people, right? So they have an audience, they have everything which they have collected from the efforts they have done in the knowledge sharing and all this stuff, and then it's very easy for them to insert any product into the funnel, and then people will trust them, right? Because they have seen them, they have the whole journey with them. So though it looks like they had this they had this intentions from the beginning, but it's not like that usually. Moving further, yeah, the biggest challenge, another challenge people face, like I have an idea, it involves tech. So what about the tech? Should I hire a CTO? And what should I give to the CTO to let him retain? I don't know the guy personally. Many people, there are many people I have seen. If you'll go on LinkedIn, people are finding co-founder there as well. It's not like you always know your co-founder. You can hire, you can get a good deal from a co-founder. There are many networks, there are many communities where people find co-founders. So it's a question like, should you be alone also? Like you have a good idea and you are very sure of the executing it. So should you do it alone? And there are startups like if you have heard about Alpino, they are featured in Shark Tank also. So they had like 8 co-founders with them. So it's not compulsory like it's only going to be one co-founder or something. It can be any number of co-founders, and it can work in favor of you. It can work against you also. Then what to offer that to retain people these days, managing resources, retaining people, it's very important. Like for any industries. Like I recently attended one event, and there was Aman Gupta was there. He told me like he had this guy who was very good at work and everything. They offered him like salary of 1 crore rupee. So he used to handle all the products and stuff, product head. Then some company came with foreign funding and then acquired him for 2 crore rupees. So it's not like how can you retain, because with it's nothing defined, like a senior level wala person nahi jayega, junior level mein you'll having a regular change of people. So how to retain them? There are ESOPs, if you know, like you must be knowing, like we study taxation of ESOPs, but ESOPs are something which is very good. But for ESOPs to work, you need to make your employees, you need to make other people understand that what is your vision for the company. If the company's vision is to scale to the 200x, then that ESOP matters. Else, if you are having a shorter vision, you don't have things aligned, you don't have things documented, like where you want to go, everything, like those cliche questions, like where you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You should have something in mind. You should start with the broader vision, like if I have this customer base, I can serve to these many people, and then you should go into the reverse, like yeah, this could be the strategy I could be following. Then what skills to look like? It's like for if I might say, there was one client of ours. He was from the background where he didn't know what sale was. Matlab, he didn't know. Okay, and if he'll hire someone, he's not able to hire any sales guy because he personally don't know that how to judge a person if it's going good sales or not. Yeah, numbers are there, but there are many things which can influence, like how to hire people. And so you can always take helps of external agencies, and there are many consultants as well. So the solutions for this challenge is, number first of all, you should know yourself and your limitations. You can't do everything. You have to accept it. Like you can see on the slide, there is written Chief Everything Officer, but I'll explain why I'm saying it. Like if you decide to be like you are going to be the only co-founder, and there are forms and there are like if your whole product is skill based, tech based, where you are the tech guy, then it could be a single founded and co-founder team, and you can always hire people. There are industries there are which were founded by someone else and which is run by someone else right now, because they have good management, good people, and they have retained them with a good incentive. So these both terms are they are contradictory to each other, but I'll explain how. You have to be chief everything officer. The CEO is mean like you have to have knowledge. Like presently I held only marketing, but that doesn't mean that I can't be involved in operations, I can't be involved in sales, I can't be involved in product. I can be. So you need to have some basic knowledge about all these things, but you need to have also a specialization thing that I know this is the best in your company. No one can beat you in that. No one can come over you in that domain which you select. Like this is the best thing which I can do. We are four co-founders, and and I specialize in marketing. One guy is in sales, one guy is in operations, one guy is in product. So we have that comes to the second point, that you should define very clearly that what you will do, what other guy will do, because taking responsibility, defining of roles, this could sound like 11th standard OC or economics, like yeah, definition of responsibility, what is management and all the stuff. But yeah, the thing that like yeah, theoretical things always work. It's not like it's only written in the book. So you should have clear roles and responsibility of the people, like what they are doing and everything. Then you will be able, if you are very clear with the responsibility that guy is going to handle, if you are very clear what the job description is, then you'll be able to negotiate better. Yeah, that's the thing, that's how you'll be able to decide like what he is able to do, what's his pay, what he is valued. So you should, first of all, you should know yourself and your limitations. Like, yeah, I'm good at marketing, I'm good at this stuff, I'm good at operations. Ops is something which is very fascinating to me. I'm passionate about it. So yeah, I'll be doing it very clearly. And the other thing which are my limitations, I'm very bad at operations. Like if I'm good at marketing, I'm very bad at operations. So I'll hire some guy who's very good at operations. I'll hire some guy who's very good at tech, because I don't know tech, I don't know anything about tech. But you should always have some basic idea. That's why upskilling is very important. You should have some basic idea about everything, but there should be one thing whom no one can beat you at. Pro tip: network is net worth. Yeah, this is very important. The whole startup ecosystem works this way. Like if you are outgoing, if you adopt this ecosystem will adopt you. It is very two-way communication going on here. The more you'll attend the meetups, the more you'll be visible. You should attend every meetups happening around. Not every meetups. It should be relevant to you. If you are a service based company, you shouldn't attend any SaaS based meetups, because there nothing synergy will can happen. So in general, meetup should be there. You should network with people. The basic stigma CAs have, that they can't be good at sales or stuff. They shouldn't network. But I always say that you should network as much as you can. You don't know when any collaborations can happen, any synergies can happen. Like for me personally, or from many startups I have seen, like from whom I have considered, they have found people in meetups whom they are working together right now. Like you can get clients also. Then there are many things, like the whole presentation, if I might say, the whole knowledge I have, it's only because of the network which I am surrounded with, the kind of people I am surrounded with. Because if I had not been with around those people, and there is something which I adopted it like 3 4 months back, if I might say. I went full outgrown. Like I'll attend every meetup. Then you start getting invites to all those stuff, because people know what you're doing. Like एक रूम में ही बैठ के अगर कुछ बनाना होता है, then you won't be doing any startup, right? You have to, people should come, people should know you. And recently, many things happened. Like a startup I was consulting, then I consulted that guy, and then he went to do all those events, and he found a good co-founder there. So it can happen. It can happen always. These were the roadblocks. Yeah. Coming towards the milestone. So yeah, as I said, like as for the roadblocks also and for milestone also, for anyone, any milestone can be very different. It's not like there is a set formula for every industry. It can be differs, but these are general which we are talking about right now, right here. This can be this like can be a bit spiritual, but I believe in this thing a lot. Like before celebrating any big milestone, you should always celebrate small ones. Like if you wake up daily with the same motivation, you and your team are working towards same goal. Can you believe it? Like there are many small things which you don't feel gratitude about. But have you ever thought about it? Like there are employees, there are people who are working day and night. Yes, obviously there is a livelihood involved for them too, but they are working to make you reach towards your goal, closer towards your goal. So what could be a good milestone there as compared to that? Yes, obviously the figures are there, the traditional milestones are there, but these are some non-tangible stuff which you should be happy about. Yeah, you are if your product is something which is making any one person life easier, then it's a good product, you should move with it. Then dhire dhire you'll get your audience. You always, any idea you have, you should always consider it like, if you are making someone's life easier, then it's a good product. You are happy with what you are doing, you are passionate about it, then only you will get the motivation to do it again and again and again. And startup journey is very different thing. Like for funding also, if I'll say, there are people like Dream 11. Yeah, I heard about Dream 11. Like he got rejected by hundreds of VCs, and but as he was motivated, as he was passionate, and as he believed in his product, so he just did it again and again. So you need to be happy, you need to be passionate about what you're doing. So, and then you have support of all the close ones and all the people who want to see you succeed. So there, your parents, your people, your friends, and there are people who just want to see you succeed. So what could be good? So if those things are happening around, these are intangible things, but should motivate you. And these are some milestones which you should consider, and which you should be feel grateful about. Coming towards the actual milestones, like if you have achieved a product market fit, if you have proven your concept, like if you have validated it, then yes, it's a milestone to you. But how to measure it? Yeah, you should have some numbers, like these are the users who are using my product. These are the early adopters are those people, like they weren't acquainted to anything, they didn't need such thing, but they easily adopted to your product. So there are early adopters to your product. There are you are getting good feedback from the people. Feedback is very important. Like people have changed their product according to the people consumer, according to the people using it. So feedback works that way. Like many industry use it that way also. Like you launch the beta version of your product into the market, and then you iterate it according to the feedback you are getting. Because it's a good way to do a good testing. But before it's that, I can't say that could be a product market fit. That could be termed as a product market fit, but that is how you come to the actual product which you want to build. Because for a person, it's like a story of a mother and child. For a mother, his or her child is always good. Like she can't find any mistakes in him or her. But yeah, so that way, when you go, let your baby go outside, you can see what he or she is doing good, what is not. So that way feedback works in your favor. Then what are the conversion which are happening? Like if the consumer is coming to your website, and then how it is getting converted, how much time it is staying with you. For the time other thing, here comes LTV and CAC. LTV is lifetime value, CAC is customer acquisition cost. So this is a very important metrics, if I might say. So lifetime value is what your consumer is at once. If your consumer enters into your company, how much value revenue is he gonna give you till it get obsolete or something. Like for any consumer, like for 4 to 5, for any service based customer, like for any if I say Mama Earth, yeah, Mama Earth is a for very bad this thing. Like they are not getting repurchases of people. Like if someone is using their product once, they are not rebuying it. So their customer acquisition cost is also high, their burn rate is also high, their ROAS is one term which I missed, which is return on average ad spend. So their return on average ad spend is 2.6. So for earning every 1 rupee, they are spending 2.4 rupees. So that's not good, but we are only seeing like valuation outside. Like they are having this much valuation, they have converted this many. these many consumers, but there are other factors, other matrices also, which helps you consider like if it's good going good or not for you. So these are the things which are seen by VCs, which are the people who are knowing it. So that's why people say like it's all a big bubble which is blowing up for the whole valuation thing, and that's why the recently you must have seen like Palm Easy valuation got cut, Oyo valuation got cut, Ola valuation got cut, Baidu's cut, Swiggy cut, and all this stuff is happening. That's why, because these guys just made the whole valuation bubble a big, and now when the VC firms want to show to their investors that what their actual investment is, they had to cut down the investment, which is called markdown. Then yeah, iterate. You are constantly iterating your product, and then when all of these things happen together in a bundle, then you can say that you have achieved your product market fit. When you can say it, when your consumer is using it, when you validated your idea, POC comes first, and then comes PMF, product market fit. You have achieved your consumer, you have defined your target audience, they are using it, and everything is going good. Yeah, that's how you achieve it. Then coming to next thing, which is scalability and growth. You are growing at a good pace, and how you can measure it. How scalability and growth is a milestone you should keep on measuring. That there is a constant revenue growth, there is a constant user growth. You are getting good users. There is a retention ratio. Retention ratio is very important. Like if a consumer is using a product again and again, then though may his CAC is higher. Like for a service-based industry, for a recurring revenue-based industry, if your customer acquisition cost is higher, but you are earning recurring revenue from that customer, that if once you are spending more, then it's fine. If it had been in that case of Mama, if might take it again, if you're spending 2.6 to 2.6 to gain a customer, and then again and again that customer is buying it, and you don't have to spend on him again, then it's a good retention ratio, then it's a good investment also. So you are not burning money behind them, which is the next term, which is the burn rate. So burn rate is just blowing up money, like Byju's did, and all those tech startups recently. Front row, if you might heard, got they were not burning money, they had money, but some other issues like the if you know what Front Row was doing, Front Row was a startup in which actual artists like Neha Kakkar and those guys will be teaching to people. It was an ad tech startup. Deepika Padukone, Raftar, all these guys have invested in it. But yeah, EdTech is something which didn't succeed because those guys were good artists, but they weren't good teachers. So you need everything to work in your favor. You need to. So these are the things you achieved in the proof of concept and all those stuff. Definitely, they had achieved, and that's why they got funding and everything. But you have to keep that if your product is solving something big or not, how much industry it is, and if it is going to be viable or not. Runway, as I mentioned, an academy has a runway of like 8 years. How much money you have until you gets out of money or for the next round. So runway, so you have to measure it accordingly. That if you have good runway, what is the return on investment? UI UX. These days, anything which has good UI UX, though it can't be a good product, but a good UI UX can sell you anything. User experience is something which is, that's why if you see the aesthetic website these days, guys are making everything which is revolving around you. If you say how much UI UX is important, if you know Figma. Figma is a website which which lets you make the themes or how your app or website would look. It lets you design that. Figma got acquired by Adobe for $20 billion, a whole UI UX company, because Adobe was so fearful of Figma, because Adobe was doing the same thing. You can design a Figma design, and then then you can convert into. So Adobe was doing the same thing, and then you can code it. So that's the whole process of designing any app, any website, anything goes around right now. Like right now, if you hire a good agency, so first they'll show you the whole design in a Figma. So and then you'll be able to actually use it. That was the thing which stands out. Like if you install Figma in your phone, then you install a Figma design, then you can actually see the whole app in your phone, how every screen will look, how everything is gonna navigate and all those stuff. And so this was something Adobe was scared of. So they bought it out for $20 billion. Then yeah, physical growth, which is very visible to you. If you have one branch, then you expanded to two brands, three branches, then you had like two, three franchises, and then it's going scaling like very good. Then yeah, you have achieved the scalability and growth. So these are the things which you should measure. As we mentioned earlier, like scalability is something which you should keep on measuring. Scalability is the term which VCs usually use. They want to see the whole global picture. If you can scale your startup, your idea can be good, but there will be very limited audience for you. That's not a good startup. you should always have something which is very scalable. So then only if you are going masses, then only you'll be making money. Else it can be only a valuation thing which is going around. So funding and investment received. Yeah, this is one milestone. Obviously, if you have achieved funding, then you can be like recently I was having this conversation with one of my co-founders. Like having done one round only makes you like give the whole validation to your idea. Like if one person outside of your circle, outside of your network believes in your idea, then yes, it's a big milestone. And if he have invested in you in your company, then yeah, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. It's a great milestone. You should always consider it as like, and people will ultimately people will change the behavior towards you once you raise the funding. So people, the community, people start calling you. You get invites to a lot of things because they think like because you have cracked it. Then yeah, but there are things which you should keep in mind while choosing your investor. What this is very important. I've seen a lot of startups like who chose wrong, which I'll be mentioning, like which chose a wrong investor for them, and then it blown away. So first of all, what are the class of shares? Class of shares is something which you will offer to them. It should always, not always, in most of the cases, it will be CCPS, and the company would also want CCPS only. They mention in the term sheet, then you will be issuing is the compulsory cumulative preference shares to us, which would be at the certain point of time, they'll be converted to equity. Right now, they'll be into the preference only. Then for the class of shares, and there are other instruments also which are getting invested, which we'll discuss in the structure of investment thing. So non-dilutive shares. I heard this on one company. I can't name the family office, but they invested in the company and with the double valuation which the guy was asking for, but they were like, okay, we'll be investing in a non-dilutive share. Non-dilutive means like if any the how the investment goes thing around investing thing goes around, you need to understand that first. Like if you have like 100% equity in your company, then some investor will come, will give him some portion of your for the valuation you have asked, and at that point everyone who was if suppose you have 3 4 co-founders, and everyone had some portion of it, then everyone will be contributing in a pro rata basis to that guy. So now you have like four co-founders and one investor. Then next time when that another investor will come, then these five, all five of you will be contributing, and it goes that way. So when someone comes into with a non-dilutive thing, then at that point of time, that guy won't be diluting their shares into the next round. So that's that's a big red flag for another investor. It can be done for people who only want to do one funding and then they want to do a huge scale business with that one funding only. But no single funded startup you will found, because how one will get exit from it. People are there to make money. Like people don't believe in business. That's the whole problem. Another problem which is going around everyone. Then that's the whole problem which due to which this bubble is blowing up, because everyone pays valuations and no one pays profit. See, if you are building traditional businesses like Adani, Tata, Reliance, and all the stuff, the traditional businesses, the profits they are making zero the they are very Adani is in also different league. Zerodha, if I might say, which is very closer to us. So Zerodha is something which is completely focusing upon profit. They spend completely on their employees. They focus on profits only. So that is the stuff one should chase. You should build a business and not something valuation game for your VCs. But if you're having one investor, so and he is not getting a good valuation, and he's with for you for profit, then it's very good. If you brought in some investors and you are giving him non-dilutive shares at some double triple valuation, you should always have some double valuation. If you are giving non-dilutive shares, that's a trip for you. Then comes to what kind of investor. Is it a strategic investor or is a capital investor? Strategic investor is something like some understand there is a D2C brand. D2C is like direct to consumer brand. There is a direct to consumer brand. If they get Aman Gupta on board with them, then that could be a good strategic thing for you. Like he has all the channels, he has all the networks, and he has everything. So that can be considered as a strategic investor. Like he can come on some less ask and some less valuations, but he can work with you. And if there are capital investors who will only gonna invest in money, and they are not going to sit on your board, they are not going to work with you to grow your business, they won't interfere, they'll only give you money and they'll ask you to make money. So that's the capital investor. Then repo, it's not repo rate I'm talking about. The repo, what kind of repo your investor has. Like if he comes into company, he do this and that. You need to know your investor very well, that what he does usually in a startup which he invests in. like what are the things he gets involved in. So if I have mentioned SoftBank here, like if you know Policy Bazaar, 3 4 years back, Policy Bazaar was working wonders. They had profits, they were doing good, they were scaling. Then SoftBank came, SoftBank infused crazy amounts of funds into it, and just went beyond valuation. So it's crazy valuation. Now they are into losses, and revenue is not going good. Then after SoftBanks coming to you, what's option do you have left for another VC? Because the VC, obviously your previous VC and the new VC which you are onboarding should have like difference, right? SoftBank is there with you, whom you will approach. You need to approach Timas, you need to approach BlackRock and all those stuff, and they are very big and they chase profits. Every investor you have a thesis is something like they'll invest in these kind of startup, they'll invest this much amount, they'll invest only this they'll be having these kind of instruments from which they'll be investing. So that is what you need to see also, like what is the thesis of the VC you are applying for, or what is the angel investor. Like there are VCs right now who are only investing into deep tech AI, so they are like nahi kuch aur bhi hoga to we won't be looking at it. So that's very clear. So you don't need to send ekdam cold way mein your pitch decks to all the people, to all the VCs out there, right there. Then coming towards exit strategy, you should see, make your VCs or investors see the exit door. Like, yeah, there is an exit for you. It shouldn't be like wo aaye and then they वो फंस गए आपके साथ. So it shouldn't be like that. You should be able to see, make them see an exit scene. Exit is very important for investors, if I would say, because the ultimate exit for any startup is not getting it's something getting acquired, getting merged, or getting IPO, which we'll be discussing in the next slide. I've covered it. Then it comes to structure of investment. What type of investment he is making? Like, is it a mix of equity, mix of debt? Is it a mix of is it something like there'll be convertible notes? It's something convertible notes. It's you get the instrument, you get the money, and you issue convertible notes to them. Then you have to pay interest on that money, and after a certain point of time, that money gets converted into equity. So that is what which is called convertible note. There are other instruments also which don't carry an interest, but yeah, there are very other terms, and you need to see very carefully, like if you're getting debt plus equity, so what are the interest cost involved in it. And after this, yeah, and then other investments I've mentioned. Yeah, other investment doesn't mean like what are the other investment you should look out for. It is like what are the other investment your VC or investor has made. So if we take example of India Mart has built a whole ecosystem of accounting in it. Like it has a whole bucket of investments in accounting startups. Vyapar, he has invested 26% in Vyapar, Real Books, Life Keeping, and some another he has invested also in biz analyst and all the stuff. So that is how he's building a whole ecosystem. So you can see like he's investing in accounting startups, so you can pitch him. Or at the same time, it could be very wrong for you to pitch to in India Mart, because it can be like he'll merge all those stuff and you'll lose your identity. So and why other investment is important? Suppose think there are two good VC firms, one VC, and they are competitive of each other. Like they always invest in that way. Like if he is investing deep tech, he'll also invest in deep tech. There is one firm like there is one firm which has invested in like if I might say, there's one firm which I invested in one accounting startup, and another one has one VC firm which has invested in accounting startup, and another VC firm he doesn't have any accounting startup in its portfolio. Then you can pitch him and can build a FOMO. I don't know how much it works or not. It sometimes works, and when it works, you get good valuation and good ask. So that way, you need to see that what are the other investment your investor has made, and then also the basic we discussed in the start, like is it an angel investor, is it a family office, is it a VC firm? So yeah, yes, exit is a milestone too. Like, yeah, definitely you are building a business, but it's not like you should always aim for like you'll be always there in your company. You can build something. If you know Dabur is completely managed by outside people. No one from the co-founding team is there. So it's not like you should be always there in your business. If you took a good exit, then it was a good win for you, good win for your employee also, because they at the time of exit definitely will be having good valuation, and you are given ESOPs, they'll be having good valuations as well. So the yes, I'll say why exit is a milestone for people. So exit is something like if you have if you get acquired by some firm, then yeah, it is a good strategy. Like I will say like Vyapar got sold it some stake to India Mart at 26% stake. So was it a good acquisition by India Mart? Yes, it can be good for acquisition for India Mart as well as Vyapar. Merge. Suppose imagine Dunzo, Blinkit, all the startups getting merged together and working synergy against Zomato and Swiggy. So was it a good? Yes, it was a good thing. Then IPO. IPO is something which is a very last thing, which is very in favor of promoters and the investors and not good for the public. So there is an ethical thing involved there. So IPO is something like like if you see Nykaa, Zomato, Paytm, no, not a good IPO. Not a single one of them good for investors, for the public investors. People churned out money. Shilpa Shetty, if you know, and all those people, they made good money from the IPO of the Nykaa, but the investors are not getting any money right now. So yes, exit is a milestone, but provided exit is working, exit is good at for me, I will say. If I don't say it's for everyone, it's ethical for everyone. It was ethical for everyone out there, and you made good money, and your people made good money who was involved with you. So there are some secret sauce which no one tells you about, like you can get funding. These are things which is not generally known to everyone, that you can get funding from government. And what is venture studio? So funding from government is something like there are, if you get registered, many of your CAs here, so you know about the Startup India program of the government. You get registration by DPIIT. So when you get DPIIT registrations, you get enormous amount of credits are there. It's not only limited to the trademark and label law exemption and all the stuff. If you deep dive into it, there is many things which government is giving to startups, and government is supporting crazily. It's the best time to grow in India. But yeah, funding is in on the short, but from the government side, you are getting crazy support. Like if you'll see, so there are two things which a government startups give. Firstly, you get to there are people who will make you meet that incubators and startups, incubators and accelerators, which are managed by the government entities. So IIMs are there as an escalator and incubator. So you can imagine the amount of resources they'll be having, the amount of knowledge, the amount of mentoring you'll be getting. So first of all, so the government gives 20 lakh as a grant, non-refundable grant, non-collateral or anything. So 20 lakh as a grant, if your idea falls into the something, you're building something novelty product out there. So if it's like that, then government are giving you 20 lakh grant. Government is also giving you 50 lakh as a non-collateral loan at an only interest rate of 6%. So you can see how much government is trying to support the startups. So you need to meet some consultants, and then you'll be pitching to the accelerators and incubators, and then they'll be onboarding you. What happens inside accelerators and incubators is they work on you, they work on founders, they work on startup, they work on on making your product validated and everything. So if you have a good idea in your mind, if you think like it's something very innovative and something, you should always approach these government things also. You can always approach. And coming to us venture studios, this is the term which I also heard like 6 months before. So venture studios, if you have heard about startups like Giphy, Medium, Food Panda, these were startups which came out of venture studios. So as the terms is there, venture studio, you get into the venture studio, they take a flat 25% from you. The amount, the equity percent is big, but they give you the whole thing. You get mentors for tech support, you get marketing support, you get everything. You get a network of funding network and everything. So the people help you crazily. Venture studios and government are very different thing. Venture studio guys have in government will be resources will be limited to the money they are giving, and the mentoring will be limited to the people who are mentoring. But venture studios can make you connect with very good people out there. Obviously, drink break. So yeah, coming toward further, these are the resources which I describe you guys. If anyone wants, I'll send this PDF to you guys, so you can also refer it or you can mail me out. So what you should, these are the basic books which you can read, which will be very helpful for you. Daily Coffee and Startup Fundraising by Sarthak Ahuja. This is like the ABCD of whole startup industry. If you want to know what the whole startup thing is going around, very basic stuff. I just love this book for any guy, we being CAs are very blessed with many finance level stuff, knowledge, basic GST, TDAS, and all this terminology which I was explaining. It was very easy for you to understand. But just imagine for people who are coming from tech background, how much difficult for them it would be for to understand this whole finance stuff and everything. So for them, this is like the basic Gita Quran, which will guide you around. Then second is startup compass. Like it's always good that you listen to other people. Like you should know the story of other people. Why I quoted so many people in my whole deck, because I knew them. I just read about it. I just listened to them. It's very important to know experiences of people rather than spending time doing anything. But if you are into some business, then you should know the people around it, how people have built something, what are the mistakes you shouldn't do, what are the do's and don'ts which should be done, which because it's very important. Like there are very basic things which you'll find in this book, and you'll be like, yeah, it is very insightful. It was very basic. छोटे nuances will be there, and you'll be like, yeah, this was very important for me to understand. So these are the books which you should read. Person to follow. Yeah, as I said, you should follow certain people. Pushkar Singh, like yeah, he usually post very good content on his LinkedIn. Yeah, these I'm only recommending about LinkedIn. He posts very good insights about startups, what is going around, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, good stories about how the trends are going on. Madhurjan, he just decodes everything happening around, like what happened with Dream 11 and how the implications of it. The Fazul, he keeps on giving contacts of various VCs, cold emails, Excel, and everything. So these are the things you should follow. Channels to watch, yeah. Which are these are YouTube channels, obviously. Y Combinator is something like it's an escalator program. It gives you whole detail. On the channel you'll get the whole very there are various videos you can see yourself. But Y Combinator, they have various cohorts. So in their cohorts, they enroll startups every winter or summer session. They have startups. They enroll them into their ecosystem. They nurture their whole co-founders. Google is also doing it recently. Google has started Google Startup School, which is an online 6 weeks program where they'll be teaching everything about the startup and everything, how you can build your app, how you can scale it, how to you can marketing, and then they do it for various industry wise also. Startup school for deep tech, startup school for sustainable, startup school for softwares and everything. Your story, as I said, you should listen to people, you should listen to their experiences. It's very important, like what they did, what went into their favor, what didn't. You never know what could be adopted by you, and what could happen. I had this Q&A session, but I guess it won't be possible on this. Yeah. So buy with a code for your startup journey, like you have to get comfortable with the discomfort. Yeah. This is the biggest takeaway, which I'll say I can give you out of the all the things which I have experienced in the last 2, 3 years. Like if you have to come out completely out of your zone to succeed in your startup, you can't be like, I will be doing this only, I'll be doing that only, and only that much thing. You have to just go all out, do all the things possible. You have to be chief everything officer. You have to understand stuff. You have to network also. You need to strategize because you are building a business. Can you imagine? You are building a business. You are aiming. I guess everyone who is building a startup is building a startup is aiming for a unicorn only. So you are trying to build a unicorn. So unicorns are not built overnight, not built in a month, in a year, in 5 years also. You have to just go hard. And after a certain point of time, everything gets automated. It's not like the efforts I was putting in the beginning, it's not like I'm constantly putting that much efforts right now also. There are other domains which I'm putting efforts in, which can be helpful to my company, but it's not like it's going to go constantly in the same way. So you need to get comfortable with the discomfort which is going to come in this. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for all the people who have been here, who have been till the end in here. And you can reach out to me at this mail ID, and this is my LinkedIn profile. You can reach out to me there as well. So it can work. Yeah, we can connect. And yeah, as I promised, one email which I like can get like a 30-minute video call with me. I hope you guys loved it. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhinav.
Yeah,
The session was really an eye opener for
okay.
many of us, and uh, it's just a hint at how much more we have to learn. How many new terms that you mentioned, and the different milestones and the various roadblocks that you mentioned. So it's just an eye opener that we have a lot to learn,
Yeah,
whether it be a practitioner or whether it be a startup founder, or even small practices are startups in their own ways.
yeah, obviously.
So yes, yes. Without wasting any time, let's just jump into the Q&A. We have a question from Parul Agarwal. She is asking how to apply for startup funding. So, is there a government portal or some government department that we have to approach, or how does it work exactly? If you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, there are agencies which can help you. There is one called Igniol, EGNIOL, which helps startups get funding, and they only charge after you get funding. It's not like they'll be charging beforehand with you. So, cause this process is a bit tiring, you can't go very straight to into directly into this. Like you just applied somewhere and government will approach you like, okay, come on, give us a explanation. So you need to have some people. There are people who will make the whole process easier for you, so there you can find the agencies like startup accelerator agencies you can get online. So and they'll be helping you the whole around the whole thing. They'll be helping you in getting the pitch decks, and there are certificates which startup get, like the certificate we have heard about, like ATIAC. You guys are CSU, you know that
Yeah,
ATIAC you get exemption for that. So those things
right.
you have to apply to those guys help you. And at the same time, for every startup, it is compulsory to get the exemption in section 56 subsection 2, like for the share premium certificate, 10 clause, I guess, I don't remember the exact clause. So
Okay.
when you issue a shares at premium, so that premium amount is exempted from the tax. So government introduced it for the startups so that you don't get tax at the valuations you are receiving. So you need to get those certifications. So these agencies firstly get you helps you get that, and after that point of time, they'll be helping you in getting the pitch decks in, and then pitching to the escalator and all the stuff.
So they basically have predetermined processes and SOPs in place so that we don't have to, as a startup founder, we don't have to run helter skelter to different
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
agencies, right?
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
you're
And
saying.
they charge after you get the funding, so it's very sorted for you as well.
Okay, 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 right. I have a question.
Yeah,
Recently, we had attended a seminar on AI,
yeah,
which was conducted by WIRC itself. So
okay,
it was just a precursor to, how many AI tools are there in the market to do all the kinds of tasks, whether it is a chartered accountant or whether it is any profession. So
yeah,
there are AI tools to search which AI is best suited for you.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's the kind of environment we are in right now. So
yeah.
how do you see this AI boom affecting the entire startup process, right from incubation to funding to, reaching your market and all those steps that you mentioned?
Like it can be an enabler to all the things which you are doing, but it can't replace some of the things. Like it won't be able to pitch on behalf of you. So you have to
Right.
pitch. Okay, it
Yeah.
won't be able to, yeah, it can be able to make good marketing campaigns for you, but you have to make those campaigns. Definitely. Very soon we'll be getting an agency, will be getting an AI which will be making whole marketing campaigns for you. But
Yeah. Yeah.
you have to iterate it again and again, and there are some elements in every marketing strategy and everything where you have to emotionally connect with your audience, and then you have to reiterate your whole marketing campaign. So it's something which AI won't be able to, because it's based on something
Mechanical.
like yeah, mechanical, very mechanical. Definitely it has been advanced, very much advanced. So it has been learning the whole nuances of the human interaction with it. But I'll always say, like for my industry also, for the startup which I am building, I am always getting asked this question, like as an AI can replace your own accounting software. We guys are CSO, we also sees like, yeah, AI can replace accounting, but it is something like final adjustments and all this stuff. There are something which can't be done by AI. So
Right.
accounting is to be done. Like you can replace the 70% of the stuff, but for the other 30%, you can't have AI completely intervened into the whole thing for you.
Right. Right. Also, another question that has come to my mind. Uh, how different would the processes be for a B2B startup versus a B2C, like a company who is offering some products directly to consumers, or someone who is offering some service or product which is a B2B kind of a product?
Yeah, yeah. The whole thing will be different because for
Yeah.
B2B, your margins won't be that good as compared to the B2C. So
Right.
you have to revolve around the money you are getting. So you'll be spending more for to acquire a customer on a B2 in a B2B segment. There people are very loyal. In B2C segment, people are not that loyal. They are
Right.
continuously switching with the you can see yourself. Yeah, the product
Yeah.
product
True.
you are using after a certain point of time will be like, nah, if there is one product who is not that good by product itself, but it aesthetically visible good, the ordinary company, if you know, the ordinary is a brand skin company. So it started with selling aesthetically good things. So B2C people are not loyal, B2B people are very loyal. Like if they
Right.
select, so entering like penetrating B2B segment is also a thing. Like if people are loyal, then if you are introducing something there, so they won't be easily shifting towards that, right? So you have
Right.
to
Right.
present it that way. That's why I said for B2B segment, it can be more like addressing the pain points which they might be facing. And for a
Correct.
B2C segment, you can sell something more aesthetically and more pleasing, and then you will be able to solve it easily. Like and entering a B2C segment, I believe, I'm not sure everyone could agree with that, is easier as compared to B2B segment.
Yeah. What about the funding, which is, I mean, VCs or investors are leaning more
And
towards the
yeah,
B2B or B2C
B2C, I'll say, because as I say, they should be
volumes?
volume, scale, masses. Like,
Yes.
because how much like if I say there is a TAM of 6 crore businesses, that's it. The population is this much, aisa karke. So
Right.
they only believe for every VC firms, they only believe in global. They'll just push you. Why aren't you going global with it? Can't you go global
Okay.
with it? If you're not going
Mm.
global with it, we are not going with you. So right
Yeah.
now, VCs are only investing in those things which can be sellable to the cross border. If you're making something in India and you are selling it outside, then yeah, it's good for us. You'll be earning 2.5 times money. So
Mm.
they want things which gives them good money and give them good valuations.
Right. Right. Also, how do you tackle the IPR rights, intellectual property rights related issues when you are dealing with so many, whatever the terms that you use, the accelerators or the incubators? If you're sharing your ideas with them, are there any risks involved in those
There are,
processes?
but those are inevitable, I might say. You can't live in the fear of कि कोई मेरा आके brand name चुरा के लेके चला जाएगा. Then what I'll be
Mm.
doing? ऐसा So those are things like you should be very, very like there are I've seen many people who are not aware of all these things. Then after a certain point of time, someone comes and take all these away. So I'll say literacy is very important. Like before starting anything, you should be totally aware about all the nuances which will be involved, which you are going to do further. Like you from beforehand, you have to get your trademark registered. You need to have the into the processes. You need to have your domain correctly, and people should think a lot about their name of their businesses because that's how you build a brand, that's how you do everything. So you
Right.
should do that thing only after validating everything. Like would I be able to get this trademark cleared? Would people would be able to say my name easily? Because there are every theoretical thing for everything, if I might say.
Right.
As I have read a lot of books, like people say your domain name shouldn't be more than 6 letters. Called because after a certain point of time, people will take huge time. Because Facebook started with Facebook, then with FB.com. So if you write, so your domain name shouldn't be more than 6 letters. So you need to think all these things together before doing anything. That's why I say okay, when you'll, and that is why the network is network thing which I
Right. Right.
mentioned, because you need to have an idea, you need to meet people, you need to see what is going around. If you're building something, then before doing anything, you need to research a lot. Before I started building an accounting software, I found around like 60 to 70 accounting softwares. I bought the premium packages of all of them, and then I served everything which was being done in that. And then when you start doing all the other stuff now, then you get knowing more and more. As you know, there is this thing happens a lot when you see one thing around you, and then suddenly you are seeing everything it everywhere. So it goes that way. So if you'll start doing one thing, then again and again you'll be knowing it about more and more. So you should ultimately cruxing it down. You should research more before doing anything, and then you will be able to solve the IPR things. And
Yeah.
if someone takes your name away, you should be able to have some good product, then you can name it something else. Like if you have known about Vakil sir, he's a good competitor of art. He's giving good works to other people as well, but Vakil sir recently changed their name to Zolvit. So no relation between two other names, but just because of IP issues, it had to change their name.
Okay. I don't see any other questions that have popped up. Yes, there are a couple of requests to for you to share the PDF of the books that you suggested.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know PDF would be there or not. I personally prefer reading books physically, so I might share the link to buy the book.
yeah.
But yeah, if I get the PDF,
Just
then
the names at least
yeah,
for
obviously
retention purpose. That's it.
names obviously I'll share.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Thank you, Abhinav. Thank you a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you
I
everyone, every one of you for being here, and
Yeah,
thank you so much. Yeah.
yeah. I think Yogesh sir would like to take over now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you, Abhinayji. You have shared a lot of things which is knowledge, not a knowledgeable, but it is update the professional ethics, means professional way of thinking as well. One of the question also raised by one of the member is how to apply for the startup funding. Uh, could you elaborate, sir?
Yeah, I've elaborated it. Kruti asked me that.
Okay. I think so. Most of question has been covered.
Yeah.
So yeah, I pass the thing to Priten Shah to give a formal vote of thanks. Priten ji.
Thank you, Yogesh ji. A warm vote of thanks to CA Abhinav Sharma for his insightful and informative session on roadblocks and milestone in startup journey for CAs. Abhinav's wealth of experience in the startup ecosystem was evident throughout the session. He shared valuable insights on the challenges and opportunities that CAs face when working with the startups. He also provided practical advice on how to overcome these challenges and achieve success. We thank Abhinav for taking his time to share his knowledge with us. This session was informative and inspiring, and it has given us a much better understanding of the startup journey. I would also like to thank Women and Young Members Excellence Committee, CA Preeti Savlaji, Chairperson, CA Abhay Chajarji, Vice Chairman, for initiating a series of sessions under Youth Excellence Symposium, today being the 16th session. I thank all the participants for encouraging us to conduct such sessions and request them to give their valuable feedback and suggestions on any topic you wish us to conduct. Lastly, I would also like to thank the technical team for their continuous support in running this session online seamlessly. Thank you once again, Abhinav. Your session was great. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you, Abhinay ji, Priten ji.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kruti ji. Yeah, we will close the session today. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Technical team, we can close the session now.